So Don't Start Podcast was this like comedy project that I had the idea for probably like a year and a half ago now. I remember talking about it summer of 2021 to people at the time. And the whole idea was like, what is the worst type of podcast besides from one semester?
Yeah. As we all know, everyone is really counting down the minutes, ready for this to end.
Ready.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're not ready.
Yeah.
And so it spoofed a bunch of different genres of podcasts. So Volume 1 was 4 episodes and was recorded last spring and came out over the summer. And some of the different ideas were like a sports podcast, but like the satire twist to it is all the sports analysis is done through astrology and horoscopes. There was a murder podcast where the like host's brother has died, and what we come to find out is that the host killed his brother, but he's like trying to prove every reason why it's not. There's one called Mansplain where there's just two dudes who mansplain a movie, much how I'm mansplaining Don't Start a Podcast.
It's your project.
Right, it's fair. And then the other one, which you were involved, was called Yesterday, Today, Now, and it was like a internet news drama podcast, but like all of it was like really dumb shit. I'm trying to remember what were like the insane headlines.
I don't know exactly what the headlines were, but it's like the classic, or what, like someone faking their death on a Twitch stream in a hot tub.
Yeah, she was a hot tub Twitch stream when like a toaster falls in.
Yeah.
But like one of the other guys was like, dude, it wasn't plugged in. Like that's not how electricity
no,
works.
what I've said to you before is recording the whole thing and then listening to it feels like just scrolling through Snapchat news.
Yes.
That's what the whole episode is like.
Exactly what I want to feel like.
Yeah.
But like then the big twist is like all these dumb stories are like interconnected and like weave a dark tapestry of this one dude who's like manipulating women.
Yeah, and the whole theme of like Mister's project, Don't Start a Podcast, is like he's the narrator, the only consistent character.
Yeah, the thing that I haven't been able to like convey well, and I'm trying to in how I write the intro and outro of Volume 2 is like the whole idea is that like this podcast is like a company who just like scrolls through the internet and finds bad podcasts.
Oh, is that like your story?
And it's like, yeah, and like has this archive of podcasts, and each week we jump into the archives and pull out a different one. They're like, hey, check this shit out.
Oh, okay. I always interpreted it as, or I guess you never really explicitly said it, so I just took it as you're like the watcher of podcasts.
Yeah.
That's like what you are. You're kind of just saying like, here's a bad one, let's watch it, and I'm not going to interfere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so this time, writing the intros and outros to the episode and the trailer, I'm trying to make it a little more apparent. Like, what is the purpose? What is the why of Don't Start a Podcast? Because it's not just like, funny podcast. It's like, hey, like, this shit is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So this episode will come out over fall break. Mm-hmm. So, like, middle of October. By the end of October, it will start going up. So go check out the first volume, Volume 1. There's 4 episodes. If you type into like Spotify, Apple Podcast, like Amazon, it's anywhere you can get a podcast. It's on YouTube as well. Don't Start a Podcast. You should find it.
Yeah.
And then Volume 2 will be coming out in October. And there's 6 episodes this time. Jacob helped voice a few of them. Mm-hmm. And I think that this one has.
This one's definitely it's like the first one. It's a good idea in general, and so then like the first 4 episodes are going to be like, how is this going to go? And I think all 4 of them did really well. So this season is when you know what you did right and wrong, and it's really like conceptually, I'd say the ideas you have for this season are far more developed.
Mm-hmm.